Hello students, you know that we are going through the poem The Inchcape Rock. In the last lecture we have discussed some activities that are given in brainstorming. Now we are on the page number 107. Number 4, look there. Jealousy is the most incurable defect. Justify. The question is given here. Jealousy. Okay. Jealousy means feeling jealous about other person. See here, jealousy is the most incurable defect. Incurable, that is not curable. Means incurable. Defect means dosh. Right? Jealousy is the most incurable defect, and we have to justify the sentence. See here, you know that Sir Robert was a jealous person, and through that jealousy he cut down the Inchcape bell, and then by fate he was also sank in the sea. See, jealousy is the most incurable defect. Justify. The answer is jealousy is one weakness of a person who brings his or her own doom by thinking ill about others. The person loses control of his own self and does things to destroy somebody, which in turn causes his own downfall. It is incurable because a jealous mind is always occupied with evil intentions of causing damage to others. So, it becomes difficult to make the person understand and change his motive. This is the answer. काय डिस्कस केलं आपण की जेलसी ही एक विकनेस आहे व्यक्तीचा. जो विकनेस काय करत असतो त्याचाच मृत्यू ओढवून आणू शकतो किंवा आणत असतो. आणि जेलसी म्हणजे काय करणे, तर इल थिंकिंग करणे दुसऱ्याच्या बाबतीत. जो व्यक्ती जेलस असतो तो व्यक्ती त्याचं स्वतःवरचं कंट्रोल लूज करतो आणि बऱ्याचशा गोष्टी डिस्ट्रॉय करतो, आणि डिस्ट्रॉय केलेल्या गोष्टीच त्याला त्याच्या विनाशाकडे घेऊन जातात. जे व्यक्तीचं माइंड जलस आहे त्याच्या डोक्यामध्ये इव्हिल इंटेन्शन्स असतात, आणि जे इव्हिल इंटेन्शन्स दुसऱ्याच्या कामाला डिस्ट्रॉय करत असतात. ओके, दीज थिंग्स आर गिवन हियर. नाउ द नेक्स्ट ॲक्टिव्हिटी. But the rover's mirth was wickedness. Explain this line in your own words with the help of the poem. What is given here? But the rover's mirth. Mirth means happiness, anand. Rover's mirth was wickedness. Wickedness means sinful, म्हणजेच पापी. रोहरला जो झालेला आनंद होता तो कसा आनंद होता? प्युअर होता का? नाही, तर तो कसा होता? सिनफुल होता. एक्सप्लेन दिस लाईन इन युअर ओन वर्ड्स विथ द हेल्प ऑफ द पोएम. नाउ वी हॅव टू एक्सप्लेन दिस लाईन इन आवर ओन वर्ड्स विथ द हेल्प ऑफ पोएम. सी, द आन्सर इज द ब्राइट डे ऑफ द स्प्रिंग लिफ्टेड द स्पिरिट ऑफ द रोवर. He felt unusually joyful, but unfortunately, behind his cheerful spirit, a devil's mind was working. The evil thoughts were hidden by the happy face. Thus, the outer self and the inner self of the rover were dramatically opposite. What is given? काय म्हटलं आपण की तो दिवस जो फ्रेश असा तो दिवस होता, त्या फ्रेश दिवसानं काय केलं, त्या रोवरचं स्पिरिट उंचावलं आणि त्याला जॉयफुल वाटू लागलं. पण अनफॉर्च्युनेटली त्या आनंदाच्या पाठीमागं त्याचं डेव्हिल माइंड काम करत होतं. त्याचे इव्हिल थॉट्स त्या हॅपी फेसच्या मागे दडलेले होते आणि त्याचं आउटर सेल्फ अँड इनर सेल्फ म्हणजे बाह्य स्वरूप आणि आंतरिक स्वरूप हे ड्रॅमॅटिकली अपोजिट होतं. बाहेरून त्याला आनंद झाला होता, त्या आनंदामध्ये त्यानं चांगलं कार्य करायला पाहिजे होतं, परंतु त्यानं वाईट काम केलं. ह्या गोष्टी दिल्यात. नाऊ लुक दियर. ॲक्टिव्हिटी नंबर 3. Some words in the poem are related to different parts of a ship or a mariner's life. See, in the poem, some words are used and that words are related with the parts of a ship or a mariner's life. Given below are the meanings of those terms. Identify the word. Okay, meaning is given here. We have to identify the word from the poem that means this. Look, helps in steering the ship. Yes, helps in steering the ship. That means sail, S-A-I-L. That means sail. Helps in steering the ship means sail. Okay. Next, the lowest part of the ship. Okay, this word is used in the poem. What means the lowest part of the ship? Okay, one word is used for this, that is keel. Keel, K-E-E-L. This is the word used in the poem. Then the next meaning is given. Floating object that shows direction. Floating object that shows direction. Yes, this meaning is given here. We have to find out the word for this meaning. What is the word? Buoy. B-U-O-Y. Buoy. Like this. Okay. Buoy means floating object that shows direction. Next is another name for a ship. Yes, what is the another name for a ship? That is vessel. V-E-S-S-E-L. Vessel means ship. Then next is sinking sound. Yes, find out the word that is used in the poem for sinking sound. Sinking sound, the word is used there, that is gurgling. G-U-R-G-L-I-N-G. Gurgling means sinking sound. Correct. This activity we have covered. Change the page. Next is activity number 4 on the page number 108. This is about ballad. Ballad in Marathi, Povada. The information is given here about ballad. We have to know about ballad. See here, a ballad is a song that tells a story. Yes, this is a kind of song, but this song tells a story. It can be dramatic, funny, or romantic. Yes, this story can be dramatic, funny, or romantic, and that story is told in the form of song, that is called ballad. Traditionally, the ballad has been considered a folkloric verse narrative which has strong association with communal dancing. What is given here? Traditionally, म्हणजे परंपरागत. Ballad has been considered a folkloric verse. Folkloric म्हणजेच लोकगीता टाईप. एक काय म्हणून ओळखलं जातं बॅलेडला, तर फोकलोरिक वर्स म्हणजेच लोकगीतं अशा पद्धतीने ओळखलं जातं. विच हॅज स्ट्रॉंग असोसिएशन विथ कम्युनल डान्सिंग. यू विल फाइंड डान्सिंग बट देर इज द कम्युनल डान्सिंग. कम्युनल जे पुढच्याला संवाद साधेल अशा पद्धतीचे असते. जनरली द टर्म इज युज्ड फॉर अ नॅरेटिव्ह पोयम विच युजेस अन elliptical and highly stylized mode of narration. Generally, this ballad term is used for the narrative poem. कथन करणारी ती कविता असते. which uses an elliptical and highly stylized mode of narration. एक हायली असा स्टाईल नॅरेशनचा त्या ठिकाणी वापरला जातो. The technique of repetition with variation may play an important part in it. You will find there is the technique of the repetition with the variation, and repetition may play an important part in ballad. From the 18th century onwards, collections of folk popular ballads began to be made. The form was taken up by some of the most influential poets of the late 18th century as a folkloric form of expression. See, काय म्हटलंय? फ्रॉम 18th century onward, म्हणजे 18व्या शतकापासून पुढे जे कलेक्शन आहे कशाचं, पॉप्युलर बॅलेड्स त्या ठिकाणी बनवले जाऊ लागले. The form was taken up by some of the most influential poets of the late 18th century as a folkloric form of expression. 18व्या शतकाच्या शेवटी जे इन्फ्लुएन्शियल पोएट आहेत त्यांच्याकडून ह्या गोष्टी बनवल्या जाऊ लागल्या आणि काय, ॲज अ फोकलोरिक फॉर्म ऑफ एक्सप्रेशन. A typical ballad consists of stanzas that contain a quatrain or 4 poetic lines. Some ballads have a refrain or a repeated chorus, just like a song does. The rhyme scheme adds musical quality to the poem. See here what is given. In that typical ballad, you will find stanzas. That stanza contain with quatrain or poetic lines. Okay, you know, stanza of 4 lines. You will find there 4 poetic lines, then quatrain, then you will find there is refrain or the repeated chorus, just like a song does. Okay, you will find that is in the song. The rhyme scheme adds musical quality to the poem. In ballad, you will find rhyme scheme also, and that rhyme scheme create musical quality in ballad. One famous ballad is The Rime of the Ancient Mariner by English poet Samuel Taylor Coleridge. Okay, and there is famous ballad of that poet, the English poet Samuel Taylor Coleridge. His famous ballad is known as The Rime of the Ancient Mariner. Okay, we have to read this to understand the correct concept of ballad. Next activity. Look the activity number 2. Select the appropriate figure of speech from the box given below and complete the table. We have to discuss here about figure of speech. Some figure of speech are given here. We have to complete the table with the help of this figure of speech. See, metaphor we have already discussed. In metaphor you will find 2 objects compare with each other. There is indirect comparison between 2 objects without using the words like, as, etc. And its example, her face is the moon. This is the example of metaphor. In alliteration, you will find there is the repetition of consonant sound at the beginning of words pleasingly. Right? In alliteration, you will find there is repetition of a consonant sound at the beginning of words pleasingly, means in successful way. Next, repetition. In repetition, you will find the repeat word in a single line. Okay, when there is a repetition of a same word in that line, there is the repetition. Personification means what? Personification, if non-living thing is considered as a living thing, that time there is personification. If non-living thing is considered as a person, or if non-living thing has some qualities of person, that time that is personification. For example, tree is speaking, birds are speaking, like this. Yes, birds can't speak, trees can't speak. Okay, speaking is the quality of person, but that quality is applied to the non-living object. That time you will find personification as a figure of speech. Next, inversion. Okay, in inversion you will find wrong sentence construction. You will not find proper order of the words in inversion. Next, simile. Simile is totally opposite of metaphor. In simile you will find direct comparison between two objects with using the words like, as, etc. For example, simile example, her face is like the moon. Or another example, he fought like a lion, etc. Then apostrophe, this is a figure of speech. And onomatopoeia, this is also figure of speech. In onomatopoeia there is the sound. Okay, there is the word or expression that show the sound. Now look the first example. Sir Ralph the rover tore his hair. Find out the figure of speech that is used in this line. Sir Ralph the rover tore his hair. Here Ralph is the word and rover is a word. Correct. Ralph, the first sound, R sound, is a consonant sound. Here rover, the first sound is R. Correct. And here the first sound, that is consonant sound, is repeated at the beginning of the words pleasingly. So the figure of speech is alliteration. Correct. We have to provide the explanation here. The close repetition of consonant sound at the beginning of words. Okay, explanation is given here already. The close repetition of consonant sounds. There is the repetition of consonant sound R and R at the beginning of words. So this is alliteration. This is the example of alliteration. Next figure of speech. No stir in the air, no stir in the sea. Look there. No stir in the air, no stir in the sea. No stir and no stir. Same words are repeated here. So what is the figure of speech used in this line? There is repetition. The figure of speech is repetition. What is the explanation? The expression no stir has been repeated. We have to write here. The expression no stir has been repeated. Correct? Now the next example. On a buoy in the storm, it floated and swam. See here. Find out what figure of speech is used. On a buoy in the storm, it floated and swam. Here you will find there is incorrect word order. Correct? There is incorrect word order. What should be there? In the storm, it floated and swam on a buoy, like this. Okay, this word order is correct. So what figure of speech is there? There is inversion. There is inversion because correct word order isn't used here. And our explanation is the word order is changed to maintain the rhyme scheme. What is the explanation? The explanation is the word order is changed to maintain the rhyme scheme. The proper word order is in double inverted comma. In the storm, it floated and swung on a buoy. Correct. In the storm, comma, it floated and swung on a buoy. This is the correct sentence. Next, look there. Number 4. Down sank the bell with a gurgling sound. Down sank the bell with a gurgling sound. Okay, the line is given. We have to find out the figure of speech used in this line. And I have told you that in onomatopoeia, there is the expression or word that show the sound. So, what figure of speech is there? There is onomatopoeia. There is onomatopoeia. See the expression, the explanation. The word gurgling begins out the effect of the sound of sinking of the bell. What is the explanation? The word gurgling begins out the effect of the sound of sinking of the bell. Next, number 5. Look there. The devil below was ringing his knell. The devil below was ringing his knell. And what is the figure of speech? Here metaphor is given. Why there is metaphor? There is indirect comparison between likening of the sound of the funeral bell with the Inchcape bell. There is the indirect comparison between likening means of the sound of the funeral bell with the Inchcape bell. There is comparison between funeral bell and Inchcape bell. Inchcape bell is considered here as a funeral bell. So what is the explanation? The explanation is indirect comparison, likening of the sound of the funeral bell with the Inchcape bell. Correct? Next, number 6. The ship was as still as sea could be. Find out the figure of speech. The ship was as still as sea could be. Here, the ship was as still म्हणजे जहाज शांत होतं. जसं ती असते तशा पद्धतीनं जहाज शांत होतं. Here personification is used. What is used here as a figure of speech? Personification is used because the ship is personified here. Explanation: the ship is personified. Correct? Next, number 7. On the deck, the rower takes his stand. On the deck, the rower takes his stand. Find out the figure of speech. There is inversion. Why there is inversion? Correct word order isn't used here. The word order is changed. Our explanation is the word order is changed. The proper word order is the rower takes his stand on the deck. What is the correct word order? The correct word order is the rower takes his stand on the deck. Correct? Inversion is there. Next, last. Oh Christ. See, this expression is used in the poem and we have to find out the figure of speech. The figure of speech is apostrophe. The figure of speech is apostrophe because in apostrophe you will find the direct speaking with unknown or hidden person. Okay, you will find direct talking with hidden person. Christ, God is not there, but in the absence of God, here the speaker is speaking directly. So apostrophe is the figure of speech. What is the explanation? The speaker speaks directly to someone who is not present. Correct? The speaker speaks directly to someone who is not present. Who is not present? That is Christ. Christ is not present here, but the speaker is directly speaking to the Christ, but the Christ is not there. That is the explanation. The explanation is the speaker speaks directly to someone who is not present. In bracket, Christ, full stop. Yes, we have discussed figure of speech here, correct, and some activities we have discussed. Now some activities are remain. We have to discuss that activities in the next lecture. Now we have to stop here. Thank you.